Hey everyone, so today we're just going to be taking a quick look at some of the Night Fae abilities and the Conduit Covenant goodies that we're going to have access to. Now obviously this is still in development, so things might change. Hopefully a lot will change, but we'll have to wait and see. I think so far the system seems very cool. It's definitely a lot of customization, which I'm very eager to kind of explore more. I've also already kind of found some really unique ways that some of these abilities are going to interact with feral players, but also in the wider community. And there is some really kind of like groundbreaking stuff in the Night Fae build. But I'll get into that in just a second. So once you actually choose the Night Fae and you become part of their team, part of their unit, then you get access to a couple of abilities. So you get the first ability, which is a class-wide ability, or sorry, a general ability, which anybody that's Night Fae gets access to, and that would be Soul Shape. So this is independent of whether you're a druid or whatever, doesn't matter. And it's turned into a Vulpin, increasing your movement speed by 30%. You may reactivate Soul Shape to teleport 10 yards forward. So kind of like Displaced Beast back in the day, but with an added bonus. Last 12 seconds or indefinitely while in a rest area. So if we click that little bad boy, this is what it looks like. You get to run around, you get to hop around, which is really cool. And then hopefully we can blink here. Ooh, it's not a massive blink, you know, it's not a huge blink, but it's a short cooldown, so you can actually get a couple of, you can get, you know, 2 or 3 uses of that within the window, which is cool. You also get access to the class-specific abilities, so for the case of druids, we get access to, if I can find it, wherever it is, oh yeah, it'll be on druid, that makes sense, doesn't it? Convoke the Spirits. So, call upon the Night Fae for an eruption of energy, channeling a rapid flurry of 16 druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds. So, key note in that is that it's a channeled ability, so you can't press anything else whilst this is active. Kind of like a Focusing Iris, if you think. You will cast Ferocious Bite, Shred, Tiger's Fury, Moonfire, Wrath, Regrowth, Rejuvenation, Rake, and Thrash on appropriate nearby targets, favoring your current shapeshift form. So this does seem very random, but it is quite intelligent in the sense that if you don't have Tiger's Fury active, it will use Tiger's Fury. If you already have it active, it won't waste an ability on it. Ferocious Bite will be a max combo point, max strength Ferocious Bite, so as if you had pooled 50 energy. It will favor the abilities that work well with what your current role is. So if you're a DPS, it's going to favor your Moonfires, your Wraths, your Thrashes, Ferocious Bites, and whatnot. I think in testing of this, it did like 3 Ferocious Bites in that 4-second window, which is really cool. Now, if you're not around any enemies, so say I'm standing right here, it will just do nothing but healing effects, right? So it's very intuitive to like what's going on around you. So say you end a fight and, you know, I don't know, it's bursting or something. You can quickly heal everybody up if you really want to be a team player, but I'm going to use it for DPS reasons. So that's really actually quite cool. If you thrash already, it won't like do multiple thrashes from what I've seen. It will just thrash the one time as long as everybody's affected by thrash. Now this is really cool because it's not affected by any mob count, so if there are 10 mobs, it will still do this. Obviously it won't moonfire everything when it moonfires, but it is what it is. There are some other cool interactions on it, so this will build combo points. So you want to, in theory, use it at 0 combo points, though if you use it at maximum combo points, if you're a feral, it's not the end of the world, because either way you're going to end on 5 combo points. If you Ferocious Bite during this window, it doesn't expel your combo points. So you just only ever stack up combo points. Now, I'm going to show you how this interacts in the rest of the Feral Druid toolkit in a little bit, but we'll keep this a little bit general for now, and we'll kind of discuss some of the other areas of this covenant. So you have the conduit, or the conduit vendor, which would be selling you the little gems that go in here into these little unique slots. But obviously that's not active right now, early stages of the beta and whatnot, which is fine. So within the covenant, you then have the option of 3 different Soulbinds that you can choose from. And you can change these. So whilst you're locked into the Covenant quite ruthlessly, these Soulbinds you can change as long as you're in a rest area. So I believe that what it will be is as long as you're in a rest area, you can activate these different ones, right? But if you want to change which path you go, I believe that you have to, like, completely... Yeah, so you have to use your enema here, you have to completely reset, and you have to rebuild. So if you want to make changes to the path that you go, you have to come back here physically and make use of a resource, which hopefully that doesn't increase and increase. Hopefully the next time it would be 2, then 4, then 8, and keep going on and on. Exponentially, that would be disgusting. But I'll show you some of the abilities that you get access to here. So, Soul Shape increases the movement speed of allies within 40 yards by 10%. While out of combat, your Soul Shape's teleport becomes a charge, stunning your target for 2 seconds and ending your Soul Shape. Really cool. Damaging an enemy before they damage you increases your crit strike by 10% for 10 seconds. Now that has some cool play with how you can interact with Feral Druid, but we'll get into that in a little bit. After 5 seconds standing still, you take 10% less physical damage until you move. When in front of your target, your spells and abilities decrease the damage they inflict on you by 2% for 3 seconds. Your weapon takes no durability damage, which is pretty good for a lot of people. Your mounted movement speed is increased by 3%. Allies behind you within 40 yards gain this benefit, which is kind of memey. Your healing and damage to targets below 35% is increased by 3%. When an ally dies, this benefit is increased by 500% for 30 seconds. This may only occur every 5 minutes. So this is kind of like an execute, and it works similar to the Azurite trait that we had in BFA. I can't remember what that was called, but that was an Azurite trait where if somebody in a group died, then you got a massive buff. And that's basically what that is. But you have to time that well, where the person that dies within the, the execute window. So if you can coordinate with people in your raid group, that would be really nice. When Soul Shape ends, you increase the movement speed of nearby allies by 15%. When roots stuns and incapacitating class effects end, your target's movement speed is reduced by 90%, decaying rapidly over 2 seconds. When at least 2 allies are within 8 yards, your versatility increases by 5% for 5 seconds. When this expires, 2 nearby allies gain this bonus for 5 seconds before passing it back to you. Insane. That's really good for, say, like Mythic Plus or a lot of like boss fights that might require you to be heavily stacked, and I don't know, Arena, it could be really cool as well. 10% of your overhealing received or done remains as a shield on the target up to 15% of the caster's health. Really cool. When falling farther than 20 yards, Fairy Dust slows your fall. When I first read this ability, it actually kind of made me laugh, the image of that one. Every 1 hour spent in a rest area grants you increased gold from the next world quest you complete. Stacks to 5. Blizzard's really encouraging the AFK there, which is hilarious. And then Pottender, when you would take damage that would kill you, instead rejuvenate within a Wild Seed, regaining 30% of HP over 10 seconds. If the Wild Seed takes more than 10,000 damage during this time, you die. So this is kind of like an Anivia passive, and this can only occur once every 30 minutes. So this is kind of like an Anivia passive if you play League of Legends, and actually seems really cool. There are a lot of boss mechanics in, say, Mythic Plus where they'll one-shot you, but they're only going to do that ability once on you, or like the chance of them doing it multiple times to you without there being other external CDs is very slim. So if you always have access to this Pottender ability, and like if things rotate awkwardly, and let's say you're on first boss King's Rest with a Spit Gold, you get targeted with Spit Gold 5 times in a row, something like this would be very beneficial, where it gives you that recoup time and prevents you from otherwise dying, which is really, really nice. Right, so defeating an enemy reduces Soul Shape's cooldown by 1 second. Neat, I guess. Your interrupts apply Nia's paralytic poison to your target, dealing 3,000 nature damage over 30 seconds, so about 100 damage a tick, right? Targets with Nia's paralytic poison take an additional 1,700 nature damage if interrupted once more. So this is really, really cool in, say, Arena. I would say it would be great in Mythic Plus, but I've done Shrine of Storms with you people. I know there's no interrupting. Your helpful spells have a chance to apply Nia's Invigorating Herbs, increasing your target's haste by 95 for 20 seconds. So this seems like it's only really good if you're like a healer, because you're going to be targeting your allies. I don't really think... I mean, I guess this could apply with like other buffs that you might have that might buff your group or something that aren't necessarily directly healing related. So your damaging attacks and spells have a chance to toss Nia's spiked burrs under your target. The burrs latch onto the first enemy to cross them, reducing movement speed by 20% and inflicting 1,000 nature damage over 6 seconds. Decent, I guess, for slowing a bit of a damage. Cool. Good for kiting and whatnot. Nia periodically sends you herbs to aid you when you complete activities that contribute to your Great Vault. Really, really cool if you just have like a little farmy character. Movement speed increased by 20% for 2 minutes after defeating an enemy. Combat cancels this effect. This can be really effective as if you're, say, like a DK or a Shadow Priest or something, and you just like at the end of combat you need just like a little push to help you get back in the zone, get back in the fight. So when you use your Night Phase class ability, so that would be the Convoke the Spirits, not the Soul Shape, gain 10% mastery slowly fading over 5 minutes. That is really, really cool. It ends up lasting for a long time, and you can kind of just keep chaining it. So you can basically keep that up indefinitely, which is really, really cool. Now, one ability that I haven't shown you yet is for good reason. This. When Soul Shape ends, you are concealed until you move. Okay, seems quite tame, right? Seems quite tame. What's the big deal, Psy? Why, you know... Why are you freaking out about that ability? Well, it just so happens that it acts very, very similarly to Shadowmeld. So if I'm in my Soul Shape here, I'm going to show you here. If I'm in my Soul Shape, this is probably going to proc the cooldown on it, which could be a bummer. Have to wait and see. Oh, I'm going to get DC'd. Yep. Well, that's beta for you. Just as we were about to get to the interesting bit, that's a little bit of a... Man, that's a bit of suspense, isn't it? Thanks, Blizzard. Building up the suspense. As we kind of just log back in there. These things happen. But yeah, so this ability, if you're in combat, you can proc your Soul Shape, do a cancel aura effect. So watch this. Cancel aura effect, and then stand still, and it will immediately put you out of combat. So watch this. So I'll get into combat with this mob. Yep, cool, cool, cool. Oh no, I've decided I can't beat this enemy because I'm a Feral Druid and I don't do any damage. I'll run over here, cancel it, stand still, combat resets. And then boom, I can go in stealth from there. So this is basically an open-ended Shadowmeld for Horde or Alliance. Doesn't matter what race you are, anyone can take this Soul Shape. So that is really, really strong for many reasons. But that, I mean, poor Alliance with the faction imbalance there. I don't know really how they're going to recover from that. But also, that could just open you up to a lot of Mythic Plus dungeon skips, which is really, really cool. That could end up being... Like, I think this is going to get nerfed because this could end up being too powerful. But I like it. It's really cool. I'll take it whilst I've got it, but I think it's too powerful. Now, a really cool thing with Convoke the Spirits. So I've just gone into the Blood Talons ability here. This is kind of like a little bonus here that I wanted to discuss. Am I going to get DC'd again? No, we're fine. So I'll proc my Blood Talons. So I Rake, Shred, and Thrash all in quick succession, which puts me at 2 Blood Talons procs. Now, the cool thing is with this Convoke Spirits ability is it makes use of your Blood Talons. So if I Ferocious Bite now, it will make use of my Blood Talons. And watch, I don't have Tiger's Fury active, right? And I'm at 2 combo points away from full, so I'm at 3 combo points. So watch this. So I Convoke Spirits. So I get my Tiger's Fury proc. Look, it's used both of my Blood Talons. So my Ferocious Bite then has been improved. So it proc Tiger's Fury for me. Now I can go straight into the next mob of combat. And I've already got Tiger's Fury back up and ready. And it's used Blood Talons as part of the Ferocious Bites. So it's empowered my Ferocious Bites massively. Which is crazy. Sorry, there's a bit of lag here. So that ability in tandem with Blood Talons is really super strong. Really, really super strong. Alright, I'm going to get out of combat here. Let me just, really quick. But yeah, there you have it. That's some of the Night Fae abilities and setups. Some cool little interactions, not just with the, Mythic Plus and whatnot, but also with Feral Druid. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. And yeah, if you want to check out some more of this action live, you can get me on twitch.tv/Psybearslat. See you then.